Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Action!
In the midst of this, Warner Brothers, right? Warner Brothers Discovery, up for sale over and over again. Paramount made about Paramount Skydance made about 3 bids that I'm aware of that Warner Brothers Discovery Warner Brothers rejected. I think upwards of $60 billion. During this turmoil, during a consolidation and sell-off period of one of America's entertainment institutions, Warner Brothers is important. You guys have to understand that. Welcome back to the show of shows, my AKA Padders. It's the 31 Days of Dread Extended. This is where we give you additional one horror movie a day for the entire month of October. It just dropped. Welcome to DERRY. I keep saying welcome to DERRY. I always thought the name of the town was Dreary, not DERRY. This is a fantastic first episode, my friends. I tell you, if you have this service, if you subscribe, go check out Welcome to DERRY. Do you have to watch the movies? Do you have to watch It and It Chapter 2? See, after It Chapter 2 got released, the title, it should be It Chapter 1 and It Chapter 2. It should just work as one big long narrative. HBO Max should give people an option to watch the 2 movies separately or as a whole. The problem is that sometimes part 1 is available and sometimes part 2 is not. They're not available all the time together. Very annoying. I hate the rotating rights and the rotating catalog that all these streaming services have. I believe if I subscribe to something like, I guess we're going on a diatribe here of this real quick. If you, for example, if you subscribe to HBO Max, you should have the entire Warner Brothers catalog at your disposal, the entire Cartoon Network at your disposal, every single DC animated superhero movie, all of it. You should have all the DC content, all the superhero content. You should have it all for a good price. But yeah, that's clearly not the world we live in. While I was watching this show, and we have one insane beginning. I loved the beginning of this. It's crazy, it's wild, it's horrible, but it's also imaginative when it comes to straight fear. The creature in it feeds off of your fear. It's an ancient creature that goes back a millennia. The It lore mythology pairs with, which some of you might be familiar with, the Dark Tower. The Dark Tower did get a movie. Matthew McConaughey, I believe, plays the Man in Black, the devil. Some of that overlaps with The Stand. There's a little bit of a Stephen King like universe happening here, where The Shining overlaps with it. Like really cool stuff. And Stephen King adopted what the fans were picking up and filling in the blanks are. There's so many YouTube channels that go over this, and it's awesome. It's fascinating. I'll search those out every now and again just to refresh myself. So it begins. Welcome to DERRY begins with this nightmare sequence where a mother gives birth to a demon baby, and the baby's in the car, jumping around with its umbilical cord, killing people. And then we jump into the story, and we see a bunch of these military guys. I suspect that the military guys have something to do. I believe it's, and we were just talking about this, the Mist. There's a government program in the Mist called Arrowhead. I believe it's Project Arrowhead. these guys seem potentially a part of it. This is maybe where the creature comes from, or this is where that maybe the government or government entity becomes aware of the creature. If this sounds a little bit like Stranger Things to you guys, well, yeah, but a lot of Stranger Things is inspired by the Stephen King universe. So there you go. Popularity influences popularity at its finest. And then we get these kids, right? It always has to have children. And these kids start piecing things together and start getting targeted by the creature. They go to a really nice movie theater sequence where they see their missing friend on screen, and then all hell breaks loose. There's a flying demon bat that is maybe slaying the children and maybe not. That's what I love so much about the horror sequences. You don't know which ones are happening, which ones aren't, because how many. It's a little bit of a gotcha. It's a little bit of a gimmick of the series. I think it's fair game once you understand how the it creature works. So the counter for all of this, we were discussing earlier. Do we have to watch the movies before we start watching the series? No, because it already looks like that this series is telling you how the rules work. It's setting everything up. You will understand what the creature is by the time you're done. That's the only objective of the show: what the creature is, how the creature works. And then you can watch another installment of people dealing with the entity, which would be the movies. I think this was very intelligent. I think this was exactly what it needed to be. And to a broader point of, I'm watching this and I'm thinking about 20, 30 years from now, where people are dressing up as it, the clown, for Halloween. And people might say to themselves, like, "What, man, like, it's been around for a while. Like, when did it get big, or how did it get big?" And it just kept going. A lot of the same questions we ask ourselves now with characters like Superman and Batman. Like, it's amazing that those characters just kept going. But what were the milestones? And a lot of individuals will look back and they'll say, wow, like, there was a TV movie. A couple of decades go by, and then this one movie comes out. And they break it up into two. And they just got the right beats. They did enough for it to hit the culture on a big level. Chapter 2 comes out. It's bigger than the first one. And now it becomes a seminal Halloween viewing experience. It becomes a linchpin for anyone into horror. Not only that, it's also important because it is a great haunting movie. It's a great movie where individuals are haunted. So it hits some of these bigger ideas of what the creature is. We get to see some of it. And then they decided to expand more, to go deeper than what we had in the books. And then eventually this franchise, I think it's fair to call it. I think once something gets a TV show, it's a franchise. But then eventually the franchise is going to keep going, and less people are going to know it came from one of Stephen King's best books. I believe this is also part of his cocaine phase books. If you guys remember that Rolling Stone interview, the best Stephen King books are cocaine books. Mark my words. But AKAPAD, I was deeply impressed by this. Very promising. To me, more promising than the first episode of Dune Prophecy, for example. Batman Penguin, which we still have to discuss as much as I love that show. And more promising than Alien Earth. I think this is truly going to expand the lore while experimenting, and that's really the goal when it comes from an audience standpoint. We do need something new. We need a little bit of a swerve. We need something unexpected, and I think this show has it all in the canon. All right, AKAPADers, for the 31 Days of Dread Extended. Welcome to DERRY, not jury.
Okay, that's a wrap.